Welcome everyone to another edition of JDM Racing. This time it's round 10 at Silverstone. We're on home turf, almost halfway through the season, and we're about to get into qualifying one, see if we can take it to Charles Leclerc and these Ferraris. Now I'm hoping for this weekend that the progress that we've made already, some of the upgrades that we've been bringing, and also the form, like our racecraft's been pretty good. We've been getting a few wins and podiums, so I'm hoping that the performance through this qualifying should put us in good stead for the race, and we should be up there fighting with Leclerc and the Ferraris when it comes to Sunday. So let's see where we pop out. So we were quickest at the time, and that turned out to be the quickest lap overall. We are fastest in Q1. Michael down in 10th was only 3/10 slower than us, so not by much, but it's a very, very competitive field. The McLarens and the Red Bulls now getting up there, so it could be anybody's guess who gets pole position by the end of qualifying. So with the added pressure of knowing that there are several cars around us now that can take advantage if we don't get things right, as we just slip onto the grass there a little bit, pushing so hard, we've got to make sure that we maximize everything that we can. And again, probably just a little bit late on the brakes there, struggled to get it turned in, and we're going to see where this lap puts us, but I don't think it's going to be as close to the top as we were last time. So it was good enough to go quickest at that point in the session, but we are quite a ways down in 7th place by the time that the session ended. But that McLaren, and Lando Norris in particular, looking extremely fast. Michael did well as well. Into Q3 then, and as we go through Beckett's and Chapel, we make sure that we take as much speed as we can down the hanger straight this time. And then also making sure that we get the entry speed into Stowe correct, which was much better than Q2. So hopefully this lap should be a lot better and more competitive than what we managed in the previous session, and should put us somewhere close to the top. Let's see where we end up. So fastest over the line, fastest in the session, a 1-2 for JDM, front row lockout, Michael Schumacher also up there with us. So a fantastic way to go into Sunday. We've got a quick car, let's go for it.
Great Britain then, one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every year of the Formula One World Championship. And that record extends further for today's Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of Silverstone Circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Gardner lines up on pole position, and it's Michael Schumacher alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, Lando Norris, and Hamilton, Sainz, Ocon, Verstappen, and Sergio Perez, Ricciardo, Stroll, Alex Albon, and Vettel, Magnussen, Ticktum, Mick Schumacher, and Guan Yu Zhou, Gasly, Bottas, Tsunoda, and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Gardner. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
So what a fantastic result. Our first pole position of the season, and also, I mean, front row lockout. So Michael besting his best qualifying by quite some way and managing to get in front of Leclerc in the Ferrari. That is key in this championship fight, because we need to make sure that we're taking as many points off Leclerc as possible. He's got quite a large lead with all the wins that he's been getting earlier on in the season. So hopefully Michael can act as the rear gunner, and we will try and get into the lead and just pull away, run away with it if we can. But the baseline of the car is good. The lights go out then, we bog down a little bit, we look across to the right and see that Michael has got an absolute flyer, so he is off in the distance already. We're going to need to try and chase him down to stay within DRS. We don't want to get exposed to the DRS from behind when DRS activates on the next lap. Replay of the start, we are on the right, Michael Schumacher on the left. And Michael getting an absolutely great start as the McLaren pulls out to the outside of the track behind us. But Michael leads for JDM. We are following in second, and George Russell managed to get in front of Charles Leclerc, as you can see there. So Leclerc on the back foot, JDM's 1 and 2. Bit further round on lap 1, and we are coming under pressure from George Russell. Didn't want to turn in there, and we had to just tuck in behind the Mercedes. So even on that medium tyre, the Mercedes looking like a pretty rapid race car, and he is going to go and hunt down Michael Schumacher now. Russell then catching us by surprise a little bit, pulled out early. We didn't realise that he was there on the inside until the last second. And with the car understeering anyway, we had to just concede the position, live to fight another day, and try and keep Leclerc back as well. Coming down the hanger straight, and we are under pressure from Charles Leclerc as we understeer into Stowe, and then on the way down to Vale have to cover off the Ferrari to ensure that we stay on the heels of George Russell in that Mercedes. Maybe having a bit of tyre warm-up problems, but either way, we've got to look to get into a rhythm and settle down. One lap on and we've dropped the Ferrari a little bit, and Leclerc has actually dropped behind the McLaren. So now as we see George Russell going side by side with Michael Schumacher into Stowe, and Schumacher's now conceded the position. George Russell looking absolutely mighty in that Mercedes today, even on the medium tyres. So we're going to have our work cut out to try and keep him under wraps, and may have to do some team orders or something. So as we follow Michael through Luffield and Woodcote, we are closing in on the rear wing of our sister car, and as we come down the next straight, we are looking for a move into Copse, but we think better of it. Then Mark gives us a strategy option.
Be careful, the tyres have deteriorated significantly at this point.
So with tyre deg high, we're going to have to go with a plan B. So we opt for an early stop to get off these soft tyres and get on the medium that George Russell is having so much fun on, and he's absolutely making a mockery of the rest of the field. So we get off the soft onto the medium, 2.9 seconds stationary, which isn't the quickest, but it should hopefully allow us to get back out and try and pump in some quali laps to undercut some of these cars in front and ensure that we get back in the fight with Russell.
Verstappen stopping now.
So a lap after our pit stop, and we are going to be very, very close to other cars on the exit. Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc opted for the early pit stop as well. We've managed to get out in front of them and undercut them successfully. So now the fight is with Russell and making the most of this clear air. End of lap 6 into lap 7 then, and Michael Schumacher pitting for JDM Racing from second position. George Russell will continue. He's on a different strategy on the medium tyre. So looked fairly decent, no issues there with getting the wheels off or back on. And Michael Schumacher will rejoin, but where? That is the question. Coming over the crest of the hill and on the exit with Charles Leclerc. So he tucks in behind the McLaren and the Ferrari. What happened to Michael's strategy? Why has he come out behind Lando and Charles? We're going to lose out on points for that. We need to look at that after the race.
Okay, gap ahead is 7.0 seconds.
Having to put the disappointment of Michael Schumacher's strategy to one side, we're now having to focus forward and make sure that we get past Perez and Russell. Ticktum running long then and making the late pit stop, and we are continuing to lap in the 1 minute 30s, so hopefully this is enough pace to get us in front. George Russell in the Mercedes pitting on lap 10 from the race lead, pulls into his pit box. Hard tyres going on, which is, I mean, that's a bit strange. I would expect that they would have gone onto the soft tyre, but for a couple of laps they are going to see how they go with the hard. Perez obviously there following in the background as well, so both the front two cars pitting. Where is the JDM going to be of Gardner in relation to them? Coming out of the pit exit, and there I believe is Lando Norris, so Gardner may have got through there, and Norris battling George Russell, trying to warm up those hard tyres, and Norris has got past Russell, so it's turned into a nightmare for the Mercedes driver.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 6.0 seconds.
Pitting early has paid us back twofold and then some. So with Russell fighting Norris, our gap is just expanding. So really, for the last couple of laps, it's just been about managing the gap and trying to keep Lando Norris at arm's length, which we've managed to do, and we're going to cross the line to win our home Grand Prix at Silverstone.
That's a race win, your second race win in a row. Fantastic job.
So after a rocky start and some strategy calls early on in the race, Gardner is going to round the last few turns and win his home Grand Prix at Silverstone to take his 4th victory of the year. Oh, mega job, guys. Mega job. Absolutely fantastic pace in this car. We've got a beast on our hands. It's a shame about Michael, but we'll take the win.
Here we are then, a fantastic British Grand Prix, and what a performance it was from our race winners today. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. and that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
What a race. Man, Lando Norris, in the end, coming home second. I wouldn't have expected that. I thought the fight was with George Russell. I thought that's who we were racing today. But man, Lando must have put in an absolutely stellar last stint. And basically get in front of Russell coming out the pits. And that's what got him that second. And then closing us down as well. We were having to manage the gap from around 3.7 seconds down to, I think it was about just over 2 seconds by the time we got to the flag. So Lando was rapid today. Just very, very underrated dark horse. Let's break it down then. Results time. We win the race by 2.2 seconds from Lando Norris in the McLaren. George Russell, don't know what went wrong on that last stint, but he comes home third. And Charles Leclerc fourth. And Charles Leclerc did actually take the fastest lap. Michael fifth, so not where we wanted him to be really. We wanted him second behind us, but we'll take the 1-5 as it ended up being. In the Drivers' Championship, we close up on Charles Leclerc after that win, and Michael moving ahead of Daniel Ricciardo after his 5th place. And in the Constructors' race, after our fantastic weekend, we go within 15 points of Red Bull in 3rd place. So we're closing in on Ferrari and the top guys. This car is turning into a monster, and we are going to be in Austria next time round. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. More JDM racing videos are going to be coming your way. Catch you next time.